All right, so it is a beautiful day here in Pennsylvania. A little bit overcast, but you know, it's fine. It's all good. Today, what we're going to be working on is my juniper that I've been growing from seed for a couple years now. Yeah, so I think I want to go back in time and show when I first started to germinate this thing, and then come back to August 2026 and see what it looks like now. So let's jump back in time to when I first started to germinate this tree. So here I have a juniper pod, and I never tried this one before, so let's crack this open and take a look. This kind of reminds me of a Dawn Redwood a little bit, how it opens up. So, interesting. All right, so let's take some ground cinnamon and put it on there to avoid any molding going on. We will fold this over. Get a little bit wet. Now you want these usually to be damp, not soaking wet. There we go. Let's get a little Ziploc bag for this. All right, there we go. So let's see if this takes in the future. All right, and we are back in December 2023, and let's crack this open and see what they look like. All right, you can see we got some little baby tails coming out of the seeds here, so that is pretty great. Yeah, oh wow, look at that. That is pretty awesome. Oh my gosh, look at all of these little tails coming out of here. We got little green leaves popping out, so I am super happy with this. So next up, I think I'm going to pot these up into a little container. I'll probably do that off camera, and we'll come back in the future and see how they look. All right, so today is February 1st, 2024, and the junipers are doing well. I think they're growing at a great pace. They're growing super fast, and I'm pretty happy with this. So yeah, I would say this is a success. So yeah, here we are in August 2026, and this juniper, it is still super small. If you can believe, it's a couple years old already. But this thing has been growing super slow in this container for a while now. This actually came from my neighbor's tree at my old house. I took one of the cones off of the tree that dropped on the ground and picked it up and took the seeds out, and yeah, I just went through the whole germination process, and it has been growing ever since. So this one has been a long time coming. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take it out of this pot, and I'm going to put it in a bigger pot. So let's do this. So for this little juniper here, I think we are going to up pot it with this plastic pot right here. So this was a pot that I used for another tree in the past, but now I'm going to be using it for this juniper right here. So yeah, pretty nifty. And the soil I'm going to use, here's something that's kind of interesting, is something that I actually found at the thrift store, because you never know what you're going to find at the thrift store, or specifically the Goodwill store here in the United States. And I found some bonsai soil. So this is some good soil. I've used this soil in the past. It's from the Bonsai Supply. I hope everything is still in there. I see that the top is like taped up. But yeah, I got this for $5.19, and this stuff is normally like, I think like 15 to 17 bucks now for this 2 quarts container. So I'm going to crack this open, and hopefully there's still a decent amount of soil in here. So I'm just gonna open it up this way. Yeah, look at that. Not too bad. So yeah, this they have pumice, calcine clay, lava, and pine bark in their mix here, and this is I think their regular mix, or their universal mix, I think they call it. I don't know. Either way, I'm gonna use it for this juniper. So here we go. All right, first time this thing's been out of this container. Look at that, look at all those roots wrapped up in there. All right, let's see if we can get this drainage screen out without damaging too many roots. Yep, I'm damaging roots. There we go. All right, there we go. All right, here comes the water. Getting some of that dust off of there as well. I can see it draining through at the bottom. Draining through very well. And that water's looking nice and clear too, so that's pretty good. So it's not super dusty. All right, and we will keep an eye on this one in the future. So yeah, it's not a whole lot to see at the moment. It's very small, but this is more about the process of the tree versus what the actual tree is, if that makes sense. More about the journey, I should say, more than anything else. To see what a tree looks like when it comes from just a little cone or a little seed inside of a cone, and to slowly watch it grow. So yeah, that is it for this juniper. So thanks for watching.